Good morning, and today's going to be 10-6 off. We are mid position, 10 NL game, we get 10-6, we get a limper, and then we get a raise here. Limper's playing 34-14. I think this guy's probably loose. He does raise. He's raised first in 3 out of 20 times. He's limped first in 5 out of 20 times. Don't really have much. We've got a call 2 bets from the blind range with ace jack. So I put together a range kind of like this, with the idea that he's raising those hands. Maybe he's tighter. Maybe it's like adding those hands. Maybe it's, adding those, and then, it's just narrowing his raising range. It doesn't really matter a whole lot because this guy's going to fold pre-flop. What matters is this guy. 3 bets. He's playing 37, 21, 20. We've got basically raise with limpers, 0 out of 3. So this is the first time that he's raising with previous limpers. He could easily limp behind, but instead he chose to raise, and we've got pre-flop raise of 9 out of 43, 21%. So I do think he tends to raise, and he raises a lot more when he's in position. So I'm actually giving him a range that looks somewhat like this. You've got Broadway, suited aces, pocket pairs, suited connectors. This is 23.1%, and that's probably good. We can look at some of the hands that he has. Called 3 bets out of position. 3-bet range is queen jack suited. Called any 4 bets, queen jack suited, and so forth. So at least this gets us some, probably an okay range. Next guy, though, 3 bets. So I'm going to say this is, I think it's short table. So you buy in for 50 big blinds. So we get a 3 bet here. 3 bets, 8% here, 5 out of 65. We've got a 3 bet range, jacks, ace jack. We see a 4 bet range of ace 10. We don't know. I don't know when that happened. But we got called 3 bets in position, ace 4 suited. Called 3 bets out of position, 10-9 suited. So we know we have at least jacks, at least ace jack off. So at least something like this. Because if he's going to raise with jacks, he's going to raise with everything better. If he raises with that ace jack off, he raises with everything better. Question I have is, like, how low does he go here? Does he raise all of them? Because this is only 5%. And based on his 3 bet stats, it's, I mean, maybe that is. I mean, 4 out of 65 versus 5 out of 65. I mean, could be a little bit less, but you can see just like across the board, we're in like the 8%, 10% range, which again, the percentage wise, I think is a little high. He could have easily just cold called. Doesn't do that a whole lot. So, my thought was we go with the 9s, we go with like king, queen, maybe add ace 10 suited here, maybe king jack, just to kind of boost up the hands that he's 3 betting with, something like this, especially against looser players. This guy folds, so as I said, doesn't really matter a whole lot. This guy is going to call. So called 3 bet stat, 2s and 5-4 suited. So I guess we could look at 4 bets. Called any 4 bets with queen jack. 4 bet plus after raising, really hasn't done that. I would assume like aces, kings, and probably queens. 4 bets. I think ace king suited 4 bets. We'll say ace king off. We're gonna say queens sometimes would raise here. Ace king off would raise. I think we'll do even lower at ace king. We'll say like just 25. All right, but what about everything else? Would he just call with everything, or would he fold? He hasn't faced this position yet, so We know we need to keep in 5-4. We know we need to keep in 2s. I think the pocket pairs all stay. If he's playing 5-4, all of these stay, which kind of makes me think he'll call with everything that's in here, like this entire range, that he's not going to narrow it at all, other than, you know, potential raising hands. So we're gonna go on and see a flop of As3c2h. All right, he donks 40%, 2 out of 5, and that is what he ultimately does. He donks big. So I think we're just gonna start taking a note here. So he ISO raised 3 big line. ISO raised, I guess EP2. ISO raised EP2 3 big blinds in hijack and called, and he raised it to 7, so like 2.3x, and called 2.3x R by cutoff with, we don't know, he's out of position. That is 3x pot, so 300%. All right. So he just shoves. Question is, what's he shoving? I guess he could have a straight here. It just doesn't make sense why you would shove with a straight in this spot. He has initiative. Yeah, I mean, it makes much more sense to kind of see a shove like with these pocket pairs. Maybe with the top pair, like a weaker kicker, because you kind of cover it. But even then, I mean, you've got a hand. Like it just makes more sense to like check, let him bet, and like go for a check raise. Maybe include a gut shot here with like 5-6. Yeah, like ace-5, ace-4. I mean, it makes much more sense to do a donk bet like that. And I think that's what I would read, even though we know here. Yeah, his calling is 2s and 5-4, 5-4 suited, and that connects. Both of those connect. And then our donks flops with top pair or better. So I guess the pocket pair less than the top card wouldn't do that. Probably not the gut shot then. Ace-4, ace-5. Yeah, it just doesn't. I just don't think that makes a whole lot of sense. So he bets. We'll go with it. He calls, and thing is, what does he call with? I guess he calls with top pair. Probably doesn't call with these under pairs. I guess he could if he thinks he's getting bluffed. All right, so comes out 9 and a queen. He shows 4-5. He shows ace jack. So yeah, those are the hands that we kind of had in the range. So 5-4 spade, out of position, bets 300, calls, and the flop is ace of spades, 3 clubs, 2 hearts, and we'll just clear it out. Copy all of those. which is strange. So he 3-bet 2.3x in cutoff versus hijack 3 big blind ISO raise with ace of clubs, jack of hearts. Is in position, call 300% all in. Right. Let's run this in a GTO. Bring this over. This guy's in position. We'll keep that range. Whoops. There we go. Go back to 1. Copy. Paste. Board. Ace of spades. 3 clubs, 2 hearts. Failed decision. 16.5. And effective stacks 46. All right, we're going to add this. We do here, we're going to add 100%. And we are going to add 46 big blind. All right, so what we're going to do is run solver and we will be back. All right, so looking at GTO, as my thought was on this flop, I mean, it doesn't make sense why you would do this. Unless you're thinking you've got players that just will call on any odd bet. I mean that could be true. And when we look at decision tree, yeah, out of position should be checking 90% of the time, even with 5-4. Now you could see there are some hands where he could bet, where he can lead. That is a viable play, but none of them have him betting here. None of them have him betting here. So we can go ahead and revise this to top pair plus. And would this be all top pairs? My guess is no. We'll say like ace king, ace queen. We'll restrict that. And what we'll do is we want to, so this guy out of position shouldn't have made that play at all. And now it's a question of calling with ace jack. I mean, yeah, you've got a jack, but I just don't know. All right, so we are going to edit, import tree. All right, we are going to add an action 46 big blinds. And we are going to take everything out. So 46 big blinds, so the decision's a call. And this will run the solver. This should not take long at all. Nope, see? All right, so he bets 100% at this spot. And then based on that range, what do you call ace king? Ace is an ace king, and I think the reason you're doing ace king is because you have some ace queens that are there. You have some ace 5, ace 4s that are on draws, and I believe that is the only reason why you call at this point. Yep, you can see it, aces, EVs, pretty good, but ace king. Yeah, ace king of hearts, ace king of clubs, which have backdoor flush draws. Those are a little bit better than the other ace kings, and everything else is basically 0 because you don't figure to win. Yep. So, I mean, based on what we restrict, this guy's donk betting too. Ace Jack just wasn't a call, so this is just again a strange hand to play. It's good to see the hands to kind of get notes down on these players. Probably he shouldn't have been in the hand in the first place once he raised first in and then gets 3-bet. This guy's representing a stronger hand than this. You're calling with basically as a major underdog. I mean, not super major, but I mean, you're behind. You're an underdog here, and we can kind of calculate it. Just straight up, 5 spades, 4 spades versus ace clubs, jack of hearts. 41%. Yeah, underdog. You're normally not way too behind. Way behind. I guess the exception would be if you give like aces 78-21. So 2-1. You'll be behind if you have like 5-5. Yep, 4-1. So in any case, just strange hand to review. It's good to see some of these so we can get notes on them, and we can kind of better see or better judge how they think. I disagree with how they played. He should have folded pre-flop. I don't mind his 3-bet. I mean, there's a time to raise and kind of bluff, and looks like that's what he was doing, raising to isolate a loose player. Loose player called, and then he lost his stack because he couldn't give up. And the notes that we have is he donks flop with top pair or better. So, when it comes to top pair, I guess if you give him like ace 10 to ace 6, which we could do. Done. Build tree, build tree, build new tree, import tree, confirm, check, add 46. All right, let's get that. And accept changes. We'll run this and we'll just see very fast. Yep, with all of that, now the ace jack can become a call. If we think he's going to do that with like all of the weaker kickers, and just really, I just don't, just not sure if we'll see that. Ace king, maybe, ace queen, but in any case, I don't like the donk way over bet pot, being way too aggressive, but it worked out for him because he got called. So hopefully you enjoy the hand. Hopefully you don't really see some of these players. That's well, no, if you do see some of these players, say good for you. Hopefully you take their stacks. All right, hopefully you enjoy this hand. If you do, look tomorrow for another.